Okay, welcome back. This is Sage, and in this video, we're gonna build and work and practice on a very simple structure which is very useful for caves such as crevice, slipways, and those structures that had the corridor shapes. And maybe it will help you as well to build your bases. You don't need to have to also build this, but let's get into it. It's useful and it's kind of fun to have this with the arcane walls. I have to say you don't need specifically arcane walls, but it's very useful to have them as well in order to build this. So um, you might not be fan of this video, this part, but anyway, just let's see what you can do with the arcane walls at this video. So most of the times when you're building somewhere, you have a corridor in front of you and you want to fill it with gates or the gate frames, so you have different options. Let's get to how we can build at the other side. So if you have a corridor like that, you can start by actually let's jump to the corridor somewhere like the slipway and let's see what we can do. So this is very simple, we all know about that. You usually use that to have more gates here, and why we use gate or gate frames, because obviously they have more health points compared to the doors. So when you try to see the health points, they nerfed it, but still is higher than the doors and the door frames, and it's 65 gate, the door itself, and the gates are still at 140k HP. Okay, another way that you can do this also as well is some people, instead of having the square shape foundation, because they want to actually have a very more compact base, they use the triangles foundations. The problem with the triangles foundation is that you cannot align all the gears at the same row, so it's kind of more challenging, but it's possible. So you start building again with the triangle foundations. Continuing the other side, these both lamps, they're all both of them are simple, no problem to building, and there's no problem about against the roof. So when you have this, again, because we cannot put gates here, we need to use in order to put between gates in at the top of each foundation, triangle foundation is challengeable. We're gonna try if we can do that, but for now, because we want to show these foundations, here's the Argosian. You can see, I don't have other DLCs, but you can use them if you have. If you don't, just two of them, then you can see the difference between the colors and the shapes. It helps you to see if you put, for instance, put something at the other side, so it helps you to remove and place it back again on its place. And you just continue and doing it this way. You don't need to build here and here. So at this row and at these layers, we got the fence foundations, same as here, and you will continue in order to reach your front gates doors. So in order to put the gates, you can pick up your gates from other side and try to put them here. So if you start putting your gates here, because you're using triangles, and by each foundation the gates will shift to the other side, it's going to be hard for you. So in order to do that, no problem, you just need to be careful that you still can use the gates here, and the gates usually cover 3 foundations. Then you can use them and you can put the foundation in here. So in order to answer our question and challenge, we just witnessed it's possible to put gates between them as well. So you can do the same as well. So now you have one row here, and you can put the foundations and the gates here as well. And the only challenge is that you just need to find a way to put the fence foundations in between for the gates as well, because they are triangles. It's going to be harder for you to find that. And also keep in mind one thing about the gates, that we all need to be very careful and pay attention is the central core, the central foundations, which I'm gonna show you right here. So if, for instance, if you have a gate here and another gate in between, another gate in between, so and your radius coming and radio, you have to very carefully protect these core and center foundations, because if this gone, all your gates will gone as well. So we didn't lose the last one because this one is still stable based on the foundations behind this one. So keep in mind, if you put one foundation here in between, it's based on the middle core foundations, and you need to put in order to fortify this, you can just put a seal and rooftop at the top of it, or you can fill it with the nourishment get bomb. You can have, let's just say, there's many ways that you can be creative and find it. The thing is, you need to just careful about how you use them. So you can just put the arcane walls here to bring it up, which we are gonna talk soon about here, to try to be more careful about the core foundations and the behind them, and or the rooftops also work as well. You can combine it with the rooftops, but doesn't mean that your gates will stand forever there. It just gives you more time and opportunities to come here or repair them, or you need to replace them afterwards. So go back to the triangles. As you see, we're still struggling with the fence foundation in between. You may say, let's do this one and try to put back the fence foundations. It's not possible, so you need to be very careful. Also, in order to have your gates again, you need to put back the triangle foundations. But let's just say we build up base by our gates at the top of each fence, at the top of fence foundations here and the triangle foundations here, and we managed to make one row here that we can pass when after we put the gates as well. So the question is that what you can do is just in some of them you can put back the foundations or the arcane walls, but not all of them, to just fortify them. Like you need to just give yourself some space that you can pass by. You can fill it with your rooftop and continue stacking at the top also as well. But again, you need to be very careful, and stacking foundations on each other is not very stable and useful here, but you still can use this and fill it with the foundations. Or if you do want to be messy and very complicated, I suggest don't do this and just go with the gate at both sides of the triangle foundations, which you can also fortify with the fence foundation, and it's way easier for you to put the foundations in between, right? So still, these foundations, when you're stacking or using the arcane walls, doesn't help the center core here. It just help to just block the way. So if you want to block the way, you can use this for the walls, and in between, because you have this gap based on your design, you can put doors. And just be careful when you're putting doors. Again, you should go and be in center of each gate that you have easy access, and then after you're done with your gates and door frames, you can put and fill it with the foundations. After you've done this, you can put some, you can close it with the seals here. It's very easy to do that, and you can stack the foundations or the walls or the columns. Just keep in mind, in some parts that you have your gate frames, it's not possible to put the simple walls, right? It's because you cannot stack them or put them at the same area, at the same side. You can use the arcing walls if you have them. It's very useful to use arcing walls as like this, and you can remove these foundations and use the arcing wall here as well, and like this, and also in the center. And if you close the whole gap here with your arcing walls, the center you need just a gate frame, and the top is arcane wall. The only thing that you need to be very careful is the hierarchy of your build, because the arcane wall again it does have a 140k HP equal to gate frames, but when it comes to your door frames, they do have less, around 70k, exactly half of health point of arcane walls. So when they are bombing, the more, one of the main elements which gain more damage is in the center. So you still have your rooftop here if you lose this one, but you have to be very careful. After losing your ceilings and gate frames, your arcane wall will collapse as well. So in some cases, you see that you can use another arcane wall here. If you don't have an arcane wall, there's no problem. But when you use the arcane wall, at first the problem is you cannot stack. At least with these DLCs, arcane walls at the top. What you can do is just after you use the arcane wall at both sides, you again close it with the ceilings, and then you can use the foundation at the top and use a gap here also as well. So you have your arcane walls, let's just say from the ground level, you have the foundations with defense foundations. Defense foundation is I think 90, and each foundation is 100, so 190 at the ground floor. The arcane walls is 140, regardless. The door itself goes and 100 at the top from the foundations again, and the gates here is 140. It helps you to close the gap, and also you can continue building this way. You just need to be careful and pay attention that if you don't have an arcane wall, just use the foundations. It helps as well. There's no problem. And if you don't wanna lose the stability because you're stacking right now at the top of each other here, then you need to use the column in the areas that you can use walls. So let's just say you cannot put walls there, but you still can put walls there. Walls here. So you're gonna use your walls here. And here. And you have your ceilings again here to close the gap. And then walls here going over there. And again, and you can continue putting these columns in the center in order to reach the end and attach it to the game construction, which increases stability, right? Because when you, even from the top, you start putting your columns down, you can have the stability same as ground, and as you can see it's green. So it helps you to increase your stability here. And if you want them also to kind of, your elements, you're building them is attached to each other, you can use the pyramid columns because they are way bigger than the regular columns, and they will stick between the gates as well. But the problem is when you use them, because you can see them and the damage will calculate on these columns, they will get damage, but at least your core column here, the wall will protect the column here. But when it comes outside the wall here from its area, it will get damage anyway, more actually damage here. So just keep in mind if you're using this arcane walls here. It is pyramid columns here. So that's how you can build. There are many different ways as well that you do not use the gates and just go with the door frames and door frames, simple ones. But usually people use these two methods. The thing is, with these you may just fill between the gates with the door frames, which may bring more obstacle for your raiders to destroy the doors. But you cannot put any ceilings to protect the gates, core foundations, and you will lose the gates. And with this method you can also use the rooftop, pyramid rooftop here, to not let them bomb and destroy the under layer foundations, and still you have your protection here and there's no problem. So let's go back to the area that we are building and talk about what we want to build today. So now we are back here. If I can just find my construction, here we are. It's the same construction. So we're gonna continue building with the foundations and prepare for the gates. I'm just gonna showcase this method. It's not very hard, it's easy and it's fun to build. So you're gonna use your gates again. You're gonna use the gates that we can put the fence foundations in between the foundations. You can increase the stacking by putting 4 gates in at the top of one foundation, but in a private and also in official is bannable. And either way, I think this also is building skills and techniques, but rules are rules and you don't follow them. So just keep in mind if you're using them, you can ban by that way. But here there's no problem. So after you use this, right? So we go back again for another using. It depends. You can use the RPC and we don't need to go further. That's every time. So I'm gonna put my fence foundation in between. After I finish this and put the fence foundations between, so I can continue and build this way. So what I'm trying to say is that even you try to put the fence foundation and fence foundation here, that's why we continue, because this fence foundation don't support any gates here right now, but we need to put them anyway because continuously we will use the arcane balls here. So after putting the fence foundation here and fill the gap. Now you have your fence foundations and gate stacking here, right? What we're gonna do is just instead of locking and open our gates from the ground floor, we're gonna elevate our gates by the arcane balls, which you the arcane balls here. I'm so sorry if you don't have them. I hope it's not gonna be just the advertisement for these pieces and the clock, but it just, if you have them, it's fun to build this way, so you can try to use the fun arcane balls here. So now you have your gates, and also you're gonna put arcane balls, and each arcane balls does 104k HP, 140 HP, 40k HP. So they will protect your base way better compared to just gates. So you can just put them here, and at the end you can just like that, and no problem. So it's the same again. Now we're gonna take an advantage of the gap at the top. What actually will give us that also you can just put the fence on the gate frames here, cables in between as well if you want. It's not necessary, but you can do it. I will try to show you. And you can close the behind the gates as well. Again, the arcane ball or simple ball doesn't matter at this point. Only thing you need to do is just put the arcane balls at the back and front of your gate stacking row, and you're good to go. So now you have your arcane balls, and let me just put this row as well to have them all together here. Now you're gonna use your triangles ceiling here. What you're gonna use this, just keep in mind when you use these triangles ceilings, so you need when you put the behind layer, you cannot continue putting the front layers, right? I'm trying to say, if you wanna stack them as at the top of the arcane balls, you need to start from the front, and then either way, this side or that side, I prefer this side. You can continue putting your ceiling pieces here. So I'm gonna just try to find the maybe point that I can just put it here again. Sometimes it's just buggy, but you can put them here as you can see it's possible. And at the end we can do it as well. And the same for this side and this row as well. So here again, here again, here again, here again, here again, and left and right side of each gate as well. We're gonna do the same. Start from front. Remember, you need to put the fronts first, and then continue it from behind. Because if you try to put it from behind, it's not possible, and it's kind of hard to put it. Right, I'm going to show you guys. If I put this here, and if I fill this gap, it's not possible. I cannot put it here. So the hierarchy of your building process is important in this part. Just keep in mind how you fill your gap here. We are not gonna keep the ceilings. We just want the ceilings to actually. I'm gonna remove this part and show you that you can use the center and put your columns down. You don't need to worry about the stability of the columns. They're not based on the ceiling. If I destroy the ceilings, you can still see that they are stable at the foundations, at the centers. And if we continue this, if you made a mistake or like me, you destroyed one ceilings here, no problem. It's a bit time consuming, but you just need to do the process from beginning again for the ceilings. So you have it here and here and here, you have to go back again. Time consuming, but you got it how you can put it there. Sometimes you need to destroy them again, put them back again here and here, and destroy this one again, and try to put them back again here. So now we have the columns here again. It depends on you. You can have the columns here. We just use the columns to kind of block the way that they cannot reach from the sides as well. You don't need to use the ceilings after that. You just remove the ceilings from both sides, and then you can change them to the Argosian, or you can change them to pyramid again for the pyramid, because they are way larger compared to the normal ones. Just remember, now it's gonna be stacking, might be a bit problem, but I think in official it doesn't matter, but in private just keep in mind they might consider it as a stacking, might be bannable. So you put one row here, you can do the same for the center as well. What you need to do is just remember you need this row of ceilings in the center, just keep them here. So after you finish the both part from one side and one other side, you just remove one by one from the center, then you can have your ceilings here. And when you finish with your gates, still you can pass. You don't have vision, but your character can pass the gates. It's just a bug, I guess, that they didn't fix this, that you can pass through this side of the gates. You can pass through all the gates here. And you can just use gates here. So when your raiders comes, based on your base design and the level that you want to fight, you just need to open the gates here for yourself and get out. Now let's just put the gates back, gate frames and the gates. Let's see how it looks like. So you can put the gates here. Here, no problem to put them here, and all here, and one here, last one's here, I guess. So now, when you're going to the gates from your base, from your core of the base, if you want a better access, why not? You can use the staircase. Let's just say use the staircase, and let me just put one this here as well. And now you can put gates here. Now you are 2 level high, damage, the fire damage to your. I mean, the gates will get the damage, but still they cannot get through the arcane walls here. And if you still want to make the more stronger core here at the arcane walls, I can show you what you can do. So I'm gonna destroy all these layers here, and let's get through the arcane walls. What we can do in the previous videos, we had this at the center. Then you could use this sitting rooftop in the center, but you can put them here, put them here, put them here, put them here, and you can replace them after you put the simple one. You can replace them with the pyramid ones, pyramid ones, pyramid ones, pyramid ones, pyramid ones again. Here and one should be here. Yeah, and after that, still is possible. Same as arcane walls can stack at the gates inside the gates. We can stack them actually top of the H ceiling pieces as well. So like this, this, this. So your ceiling base is gonna stick between them, and it's also possible to use the walls also as well, as you can see. So yeah. I don't suggest to use the walls. If you have the arcane wall, just go for the walls. I just wanted to show you that it's possible also to put the walls there. And again, your accessibility is at the top of the gates and gate frames here. So it's a very useful method if you just don't wanna play at this level and you wanna have your gates at the top. And if they want to destroy the gates, if they destroy your gate frames, they're still and they need to climb up. So you can just stay at the top of here. You have your rooftop here. You have your arrows here. So you can stay here. And you just need to be worried about the bombs. When they put the bombs under you, they will kill you as well. But you can stay here and you can fight the arrow or use the spear to not let them climb up here. And if they do, if you don't use these columns and the smaller columns, they just compare to this size, smaller columns. They cannot stack bombs here again. And because we mentioned that you don't need to have and keep all this here, you just need to have some part of it here and here. So it's very hard to put a stack gates here right now. And it's way better because now they cannot stack a lot of bombs here after if they climb up. And if they didn't want to climb up anyway, they just want to find their way and start bombing here, they have a problem to get through the layers of your arcane walls here that you have. There's no more gates or gate frames, just arcane walls, and each of them has a large amount of HP. So let's just go and see the case study in the crevice. Crevice is gonna be, I think, the next video. I hope so. But now we can just jump into the crevice and see what you can do with this method actually in the crevice, or same structure across the exile. That crevice changed, I think, a long time ago in a new patch. Crevice used to have different holes, like one here that you can get in the pit, one in front here. The second one that is way hard to raid, but you can upgrade it with the traps. We're not here to talk about this, but I just want to mention there is a hole at the top. I'm gonna show you the hole. So another entrance is here, and there was actually one entering point at the top as well, which now in the new patch, I mean it's been a while, which is closed. So you don't have it anymore here. This area, it was like an opening area here. Now there is no opening area. Usually players and other clans had to fill this with triangle foundation, fence foundation. So nowadays it's closed, and if you want to raid the crevice or build in the crevice, maybe that tips will help you as well to look up there and build there, or try to raid there as well. So in this case I try to use the same gates and metals here. So in order to have the gates here, I also have these rooftops at this side. So I'm just gonna first show you the opening, the area that it was here. There's no opening anymore. You can put your silks here, have a base here, stash room here, and it's closed now. Also there is a slab here that we can use the hideouts as well. So it's up here, I mean it's exposed, but you need to be careful about the gods, I guess, because now it's kind of close to the environment out there. And yeah, just keep in mind you can build here, but if you're raiding, just careful. At some of the gates might be a very hidden room or a stash room here, or even a bedroom here, here. And then after that you have your gates, your doors. What we did here is the same thing. So now everything is compact here. After they destroy the door, now they find themselves in one square foundations, and your base has you can continue have your gates here, or you just can just lower it down again, depends on you. We can use this method as a defense method. You can stay up here, keep shooting gas down there, or try to rebuild from the side. At this point you can rebuild the gates, but not the foundations, though. You just need to be careful about the foundations. The only thing that you cannot rebuild now is the foundation. So if your foundation gone, the walls will collapse anyway. But they need a large amount of bombs, and they need to destroy it. And based on the crevice geometry, is kind of hard. So you can have this again, go again and use the same method here or not, it depends on you. And here again, and then you have it here. So yeah, now many players, many clans like their main core here, and they have maybe a farm base here, which leads to this opening, and this one as well from the pit. So you can build all this way here, which we're gonna explain in the next video. I hope you like this video today, this episode. I think it's gonna be helpful for you guys when you're building the base. If you want to put the gates and stacking, know the mistakes and the errors, and yeah, be creative, have fun building. It's not a big deal, and see you in the next one.